What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure not to miss any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And continuing on with our indie comics, we are jumping into Radiant Black issue number 3. And if this is a series you have not been keeping up with, do me a favor and check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series by Kyle Higgins. And what we have seen transpire over the last couple of issues is a kid named Nathan moving back home to Lockport, down on his luck, not having any money, not having any success as a writer. Him and his buddy then go out one night and he finds what looks like a black glowing orb floating above the train tracks. Not really sure what this is. Nathan touches it and he becomes Radiant Black. And after his confrontation with Radiant Red, he is looking to take a break. Be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we pick up with issue number 3, we are picking up with Nathan waking up and today is writing day. Today is the day he plans to sit down and actually get some work done. Sitting down, beginning to type and get to work on his computer. We see that he is very much struggling to figure out what he wants his character to do, in what direction he wants them to go, and how to properly build them. The simplest term is writer's block, and you compile this with his mother coming into the room and asking him 1,001 questions. So with this distraction on top of his already struggling writing, he decides to go to his room to try to get a little bit of solitude and maybe, hopefully, be able to write something. But like any writer, any artist or creator, he procrastinates. He watches videos with cats, he does all kinds of things that he shouldn't be doing, but he sets a timer. As that timer goes off, he gets back to writing. But even then, he really can't figure out what he is going to do. And he really is beginning to feel down on himself, because he's been trying to write this for years now. Having all of this doubt build up, he's wondering why he even tried to begin with, because it's been years. What makes him think today would be any different? As he continues writing, this is where he gets some strange alien-like form of words. They keep beaming into his head. This alien language, he doesn't understand it, but is only more of a distraction. And so as Nathan continues to struggle on, he goes to see his buddy. And what Nathan finds his friend doing is trying to come up with some kind of cool superhero name. Now for Nathan, he's not even sure if he wants to be a superhero. But at this point, it seems like it is almost inevitable. He has the suit, he has the powers, and he returned that money from the bank robbery. And so as the two of them continue their conversation on, they begin to come up with some kind of name for him. The name they choose is Radiant Black. And while Nathan isn't really 100% sure if this is really the direction he wants to go, his friend has already created a social media account, making the first post saying that he was responsible for returning the money from that bank robbery. At this point, Nathan is absolutely furious. Ready to take off, he slams the phone down and he walks out of here. Heading to the local pub, he sits down and he has a couple beers. He tries to figure out what the heck he is going to write about, as he sits here and just cannot figure it out. On the news, they are saying, who is Radiant Black? Who is this mysterious super individual that is now in our city? And sitting here for a little bit of time, this is where Nathan, he begins to know what he is going to write. Getting the first sentence at the bar, he heads home, he sits down and he begins typing away. But in this typing, what we are seeing is an alien language. And in the silence, we hear a whistle. With that whistle comes a giant explosion, and we see a Radiant Black standing before him, with it grabbing hold of Nathan and flying off up into the sky. With Nathan trying to figure out who this is, the person unmasks himself and says that he is who Nathan will never be, dropping him from 30,000 feet. This is where Nathan, he springs awake inside of his bed, not sure what is going on, not sure even what time it is. He gets a notification on his phone. This notification is a message to Radiant Black, because right now somebody's family is on the side of the road trying to change their tire in the middle of all of this snow. Still procrastinating on writing, he decides to suit up and go help out. And as he comes in, none of them expected him to show up. Most of them thought he was a joke, but with the father having a broken arm, right now this is going to be a tremendous help to this family. The only issue is Radiant Black, Nathan, doesn't know how to change a tire. And as he attempts to do so, he breaks his four-way. And though Radiant Black may not be good at changing tires, he has this very unique ability, being able to pick up the car and take it to wherever they need to go. But by the time Nathan finds his way back home and into his bed, at this point it is well into the night. It is 2 a.m. and he is exhausted. As he begins to close his eyes, this is when inspiration hits. Jolting him awake, he pulls out his computer and he begins to write. And he writes well into the morning, his father waking up asking if he would like some breakfast. And this time, Nathan hopes that it will all be different. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, this is definitely a nice change of pace for Nathan. We're on issue number 3, so we're really starting to slow things down just a little bit. Start to build that character development and really understand who Nathan is before we can understand who Radiant Black is. And for years, Nathan has been struggling to get his writing off the ground. And now, more or less at rock bottom, he finds himself inspired to write. That writing is coming from his own life. From hitting rock bottom, not having any money, not knowing where to go, and so having to return home to his parents in Illinois. And this is the kind of writing that is always very meaningful, it's very impactful, because he's writing from his own experience, he's writing from his own life, his own knowledge of enduring all of this. So he can really try to grasp the emotion, the turmoil, the sadness, the depression, all of these things that have built up over the years. These are all things that he can use in his application of writing. And so while this issue wasn't action-packed, there wasn't a ton of fighting, there's not a whole lot going on, we are really seeing Nathan begin to come back into the person he might have been 10 or 15 years ago. Moreover, we are seeing that Radiant Black is becoming a household name, if you will. But this is the very beginning. This is the early stages. People are still hesitant, not knowing who he is or what he is capable of. These small acts of kindness, he is easily going to win this city over. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to support the channel, you can always donate directly by using the Super Thanks button. It will let you donate almost any amount, and it goes to helping the channel in tremendous ways. If you can't do that, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you like this video, and until the next breakdown.